Looking back into history, sewage has not been around for very long. In the Middle Ages, feces ended up in latrines, chamber pots, cesspits, or simply in the gutter. Cities often disposed of their waste in nearby bodies of water. Pathogens repeatedly got into the drinking water or food and spread. The result was disease and death. London introduced the first comprehensive sewer system in 1859. Many other European and American cities followed suit. Low-lying Chicago even raised parts of its city area, including huge buildings, by several meters to allow the feces to flow away. At first, the cities only built sewer systems to discharge their untreated sewage into rivers and lakes. But they became more and more filthy, killing the animals that lived there. Soon, the first sewage treatment plants were built to treat human waste before releasing it into the environment. The system of sewers and treatment plants revolutionized health safety. But it also brings a few disadvantages. Every day, the world's toilets use 6 times as much drinking water as the needs of the entire African continent. Not only building the system, but maintaining it comes with enormous costs. Berlin's more than 9,600-kilometre-long sewer system is monitored here from this control station. More than 300 pumps transport the wastewater of 3.6 million people to treatment plants. If anything goes wrong, an alarm sounds in the control room.
Superalarm. 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 Superalarm.
Yes, the alarm went off here. Someone went into a building and opened the door.
The team from the control center investigates. An employee had entered a pumping station without checking in. All clear. Apart from unauthorized access, the alarm is usually triggered by blockages. It's Martin Schieplik's job to clear them.
We would like to clean the suction chamber. Thanks. See you later. Bye.
The sewage arrives in the suction chamber before the pumps move it on to the treatment plant. But all kinds of waste collect in the damp chamber.
Das fängt an von einfachen Holzbalken, die auf Baustellen mitgerissen werden können, bis hin zu
Anything from lumber that gets carried away from construction sites to, well, we once had canal pipes 3 meters long, 60 centimeters in diameter, that were washed away from a construction site in a rainstorm.
Starkregenereignis.
Heavy rains can wash anything not properly secured down into the sewage system. But the feces themselves also require a great deal of cleaning effort.
The walls usually collect a bit of dirt, but also quite a lot of grease, and we hose off the fat so that it doesn't build up too much.
Wet wipes and fibre cloths, which do not belong in the sewage system, are a particular challenge.
Das kleine Fasertuch mag ja am Ende recht harmlos daherkommen, aber in Summe und über den Weg bis zur Pumpe, über die Kanalisation.
The small fiber cloth may seem harmless, but going through the pump and sewage system, cleaning cloths and bits of thread get tangled. We've calculated that this extra cleaning costs the water companies almost 1 million euros per year.
fast 1 Million Euro pro Jahr zusätzlich kostet, diese
I don't mean normal cleaning.
Reinigungsmaßnahmen durchzuführen.
I
Damit
mean
sind
the
nicht
extra
die
work created by, for example,
damit sind
the tangled
echte
mess of cleaning
Maßnahmen,
towels.
die jetzt zusätzlich zum Beispiel durch die verzopften Reinigungstücher nochmal auftreten.
Paris too has to work to keep the canals from clogging. A tried and true method is the so-called bateau van, a several-metre-long boat that workers lower into the canals and push in front of them like a plough. Experts estimate that renewing the sewage system in Germany alone will cost around 12.5 billion euros per year in the coming decades. By comparison, the country spent a total of 14.2 billion euros on road construction in 2020. And the sewers and pumps are only the first part of the system. The largest sewage treatment plant in Europe and supposed second largest in the world is in Achères, north of Paris.
Ici, c'est le géant de l'épuration. On l'appelle souvent comme ça. C'est une des installations
This
les
is the
plus,
purification
les plus
giant.
importantes, au monde.
We often call it that. In size, flow rate, and the amount of pollution removed, it's one of the most important sewage treatment plants in the world. It processes the wastewater of around 5 million inhabitants, about 1.5 million cubic meters per day in dry weather like today. That's really a lot.
In fact, Achères basically works like any other sewage treatment plant in the world, but on a much larger scale. Hidden in these boxes, screens filter coarse waste by the ton. From fibres, toilet paper and bottles to cigarette butts.
On va pouvoir retirer jusqu'à une benne d'ordures ménagères. Par
We
jour.
remove one
Le
full
liquide
dumpster of
Là, on
cigarette
va
butts
après, au
per
niveau,
day here.
Sur un tamisage, donc sur des mailles plus fines que
After
celles
that,
qui sont sur
we
les
do some
nettoyeurs
finer
grossiers,
screening
les
to get
nettoyeurs
out
fins pour
even
retirer
smaller
justement,
trash.
Ces déchets qui sont plus fins.
Countless basins separate grease and sand in the next step, primarily from food scraps or what rainwater washes up. After that, the actual treatment begins. In so-called activated sludge tanks, the sewage is enriched with oxygen. The microorganisms that break down the nutrients in the sludge need this oxygen to live. The work of microorganisms creates, in broad terms, two products: purified water, which can flow off into the environment, and biomass, which sinks to the bottom of the basin, consisting largely of the bacteria that have consumed the nutrients. But the oxygen supply in particular is expensive. Of all the public facilities in a city, sewage treatment plants consume the most energy on average. The system is also vulnerable to the effects of climate change. During drought and dry spells, the water gets muddy and the plants don't function as well. And during heavy rainfall, the treatment basins flood. In extreme cases, the sewage escapes into the environment untreated.
Der Klimawandel ist für uns tatsächlich ein Thema.
Climate change is indeed an issue for us. We have both heavy rainfall on one side and dry spells on the other. Money is not enough. We also need ideas, inventions, and certainly more awareness and a different way of handling water as a resource.
Mit Ressource Wasser dazu.
The current system needs to be changed and expanded to continue to clean reliably in the future.